Well, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And you can have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. Feel the weight of your sits bones in your chair. Align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. And then go to the crown and just release any tension there. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the tongue, the jaw, the back of the head. And allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, relaxing the throat and the chest and your belly and all of your limbs. And notice your breath as you inhale and exhale. And be aware of any sound in your environment, just any of those distractions that we love so much. So if you do get a notification, if you get something comes through on your screen, you feel a buzz on your wrist from your watch, or if you hear some sound, smell someone cooking something, just to allow all of it to be there and just keep focused on your on your breath. And then just check in with your mind this evening to see how you're doing. Check in with yourself, your own best friend traveling along this little path. This is, you is who you are traveling along with. And try not to judge what's in your mind. And then let's bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, our strangers, the ones we don't like. Keeping in mind these relationships are impermanent, and despite how you might feel about any particular person at any particular time, they're all equal. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think there is, actually, let's just do this. Just motivate this practice for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we can we can equally change that and create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this life, on this day, and in maybe all of our past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. The reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience, and we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So we think, I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and then think again, I'm sick of this suffering, and then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need Buddha, Vajrasattva, to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with our body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown, and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it just keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Motsa Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe. Vajra sattva samaya manupalaya vajra sattva dina patita. Jita me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe, vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sakha ahom pe, vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe, vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Dida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva hum pe. Then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the, excuse me, purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajra Bawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutsa vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe, vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe, vajra sattva samaya manupalaya, vajra sattva dina patita, Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahom pe vajra sattva samaya manupalaya vajra sattva dina patita jida me boa sitokaya me boa sipokaya me boa anurakta me boa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitam me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajra sattva samaya manupalaya vajra sattva dina patita. Jida me boa, sitokaya me boa, sipokaya me boa, anurakta me boa, sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. So be so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. Next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a pitch black room, you flick on that switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, neediness, bitterness, grudges, disappointments, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Mebowa Sitokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajra Mami Mutta Vajra Bawa Maha Samaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mame mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa maha samaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And now think there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely And so the nectar flows down, pushing out all the negativity of the body, and then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of the speech. And then the light comes and just blasts all the delusions. And this is happening all at the same time. So in this way, it kind of, as well as you reciting the mantra, so in this way, it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sabosidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Juda meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Drita meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Om vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Juda meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So it may not be ever again, but we can think about it in terms of just wanting to refrain from it, because we have these very strong habits. And sometimes we don't recognize them. Sometimes we do recognize them, but they somehow seem to control the mind. So the idea is that we control the habits instead. So even if we just start with the decision, I'm going to control all these out of control habits. Or even an interest or an aspiration that this is what I'd like to do. So rejoice in your efforts, and then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And imagine Vajrasattva now is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light. He absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Lama Zopa Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. At whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. The father to the meaning of all mantras, the greatest Bindu, void of syllables, with 5 great syllables, great empty one, 100 syllabled, devoid of Bindu, endowed with every form, yet free from form, supporting half of 16 Bindus, transcending every grouping, void of members, sustaining dhyana's 4th and final peak, aware of dhyana's each and every aspect, with knowledge of samadhis, types and families, the best of bodies, body of samadhi, the sovereign king of all enjoyment bodies. Okay, everybody. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all of your own individual teachers. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hosting, Shayla. Lots of love, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Okay, bye. Thank you.